Hello, it's Regina. Welcome back to my haunted library. Today I have a review for a new issue of an relatively old book called The Nest. This is an old horror book by Gregory A. Douglas, and this has just been released by Valancourt Books as part of their Paperbacks from Hell series. So Grady Hendrix and Will Erickson from Too Much Horror Fiction are involved in curating this. Will Erickson does a really nice introduction to this book, and this is the first in the series. So when I heard about this, of course I signed up. I love this idea, and I was really happy to see in the back of the book, and I'll do a close-up of this, they have the little coupon that you can fill out, like in the old days, with like the old leisure books and the old zebra books. And I do believe this was a zebra from originally published on Zebra. So I took this book with me. I started it when I was at home, and then I went on a couple day writer retreat in a little cabin in the woods by myself, just with me and Lily. And I brought this with me, and I finished it there in the cabin in the woods. And of course, all the kills take place in the woods. So I did have to admit, it did creep me out, and there were some really scary parts in this book. And you don't get that a lot with horror. I didn't think I could be scared again, so that was kind of cool. So this is a story about, it's very much, and Will Erickson says this in his introduction, it's very much in that the Jaws kind of era of the animal attack kind of horror. So I remember when I was a kid going to see the movie about the rats, Willard and then Ben, and Michael Jackson had a song called Ben that was a big hit. I don't remember if Willard was first or Ben. I think Willard, then Ben, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I remember seeing those movies and being horrified. So the killers are cockroaches. But not just little regular cockroaches, like huge cockroaches with fangs, and they can bite and like not only tear your flesh, like lacerate your body within minutes, but grind your bones into dust. I mean, these guys do it all. And the attacks in this are vicious. They're so viciously described. This takes place on a little island called Yarkey Island in Cape Cod. So it has this kind of, Yankee feel to it, with the old salts and in the town, the fishermen and the down home kind of people. So there are a lot of characters, and there's two young scientists who kind of lead this expedition to kill the giant cockroaches. And they start out in this nest and in a garbage dump, and they all kind of work like the way ants would work to move, or other insects would move things. They kind of work as like one single unit, and they can communicate with each other, and that they have like their own brain, their central brain. I mean, I really felt like I was getting a course in entomology along with lots of scares while reading this. So that was cool too. I learned some things about bugs. I don't know if they're true, but they certainly were convincing in this book. I think what was the main part of this book that I found the most, I can't say enjoyable, but the most impressive, were these really descriptive and really frightening kill scenes. I mean, it got me, I really hated, and I don't want to give too much away, but I really hated the first one because a little dog gets killed. And I was just like, okay, if they're going to do this to a dog, you know that they're going to do it to anybody, So it was a lot like Jaws, where, it's just like kind of one person wanders off, dun, 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 that they're next. And then the bugs attack, and they lacerate, and they go for the eyes. They go for the eyes. And, there's a lot of description of like the empty eye sockets, gazing back. It's really good. It's really, really good. So I was pleased with The Nest, even though it did scare me. But that's a good thing. Like I said, that's why I like reading horror. I like that little thrill. And being in the woods, in the cabin, by myself, just with my dog, I did get a little, I felt a little creeped out. So I did sign up for the next one. This came in the mail. And the next book, I'm eagerly waiting for it to show up. You can go onto Valancourt's website and order these. there's some information about the author. Gregory A. Douglas was a pseudonym of Eli Cantor. He was born in 1913 and died in 2006. He was a man of many talents. Cantor was a businessman, novelist, playwright, composer, artist, and poet, and all these other things. This was his only horror novel. And apparently the basis for a 1988 cult classic film, which I have never seen nor heard of, but if you guys, any of you have seen it, let me know if it's worth checking out. So yes, I really did like The Nest, and I'm happy to support this Valancourt book series. I mean, it is expensive, I have to say. That's the only kind of drawback. Each book is like, I think it's less if you buy the whole series, but they're like in the back, they're $16.99, which is, let's face it, that's a lot for a paperback. But this was really good, and I'm hoping that the rest will live up to it. And I want to support something like this because I really think it's a great idea. So I would definitely recommend The Nest for people who like gruesome horror, because it definitely is that. And maybe your fear of bugs needs to be confronted, or if it just doesn't bother you. I don't have a fear of bugs, but after reading this, I think I do. So let me know below if you've read it, if you've signed up for any of these other Valancourt books, or if you've seen the movie. I'd love to know. So thanks for stopping by my haunted library, and I'll see you soon. Bye.